Hello fantasy faithfuls and welcome to Season 4, Episode 1 of CSD Head to Head. Today I'm looking at Dak Prescott from the Dallas Cowboys and Carson Wentz from the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's dig in. Starting off, we're breaking down the passing patterns of Dak Prescott. He leans heavily on short passes to the right, which is by itself the worst thing to do for a fantasy quarterback. In general, quarterbacks that have a lot of passes here tend to score less fantasy points, so not the greatest of starts. Especially as the benchmark for a short zone and completion rate should be in the 70s and not 60s. Sure, Prescott is just a percent off, but still, I will nitpick this. The only two zones that stand out are over the middle and the deep one especially with 68%. His touchdown rate last year was 5%, a percent over the league average, but not crazy high to expect negative regression. With the yards per completion, we see a reason for Dak's success. He gains a yard more per completion in all zones but the short middle, meaning that even with his lower completion rate, he can make up for it by gaining a few more yards per completion and leaning on the talent of Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup to gain some extra yards.
Prescott gonna carry. Reach, flip, sets up first and goal.
Now let's take a look at Carson Wentz. His target trends show that he is very much reliant on short passes outside the numbers with no dominating side. He doesn't go deep as often as Prescott, but that might be due to the injury to Deshaun Jackson early in the season. Wentz struggles from the same lack of accuracy in the short left as Prescott, but is way more accurate to the right. And seeing as he has as many pass attempts to the right as left, he gets an edge over Prescott in accuracy. His touchdown rate last year was 4.4%, not far behind Prescott, but enough to be a few touchdowns a year. Lastly, he doesn't have game-breaking numbers in any zone and is actually just about half a yard below league average in the short zones, while just league average in the deeper ones. I still like Wentz's trends a bit more with the better targeting and high completion rate compared to Prescott's high yards per completion.
Wentz throwing it end zone. Hooked out of the air by Ertz. Touchdown.
Looking at their opponents throughout the season and starting with average points to quarterbacks, if we assume 4 points per passing touchdown and 6 per rushing, Prescott has an advantage of 1 point per game compared to Wentz with 21 compared to 20. In yards per completion, Prescott again has an advantage, but only a slight one here with 11.4 against 11.2, but it will add up over the course of an entire NFL season. And finally, looking at touchdowns, there's a clear winner here with the teams the Cowboys have on their schedule, giving up 27 touchdowns on average to quarterbacks, compared to the Eagles' 24. A small but clear win for Prescott in this category. I would like to take a second to remind you to hit that like button, leave a comment what you think about this video, and subscribe to the channel. I love every interaction I have with y'all, and every little bit helps me put out even more content. Now let's take a look at how they perform in some different situations. Both players have been stronger at home in 2019, with Prescott being a bit more uncomfortable on the road compared to Wentz, more stable but lower averages. Against defenses that give up a lot of points to quarterbacks, Prescott is more even than in the home-away split, while he's also above Wentz in both categories. Lastly, neither of them really stepped up against teams with winning records last year, while they crushed most of the bad teams. Again, Prescott scores more in both situations, with his best situation is playing at home versus a bottom 16 pass defense with a losing record. Wentz's best situation is playing at home versus a bottom 16 pass defense with a losing record, so both have the same.
Fake to Elliott. Prescott looking, gonna run it. Dak Prescott for touchdown.
Looking at the red zone, they are very even in their attempts, with Dak having fewer pass attempts but 4 more rushing attempts. Neither of them threw a single red zone interception last year, which is an amazing feat, and Wentz was especially good with 19 red zone touchdowns. And with the completion rate as well, Wentz is on another level in the red zone. He's just zoned in, pun intended, with almost 60% completion rate. Prescott makes up for that a bit with his 3 rushing touchdowns compared to Wentz's 1, but I'll still have to give this one to Wentz.
Rolling right. And throws, and is it intercepted or a touchdown?
Comparing their numbers, we see that Prescott has a higher one-game ceiling with a big margin, meaning he has way more single-game upside. But for the one-game floor, they are completely even, so on bad weeks, they're just as bad. The risk factor is a win for Prescott. It is about 50-50 that he'll reach 15 points every week. With the boom-bust numbers, we see that Dak still has a high boom chance even with a high ceiling and a decently low risk, while Wentz is a bit more up and down, very high boom chance, but there's always a huge risk of him being below his floor as well. Looking at their pros and cons for the season, Prescott has a fantastic one-game ceiling, opponents that tend to give up more points to quarterbacks, more red zone rushing upside, high boom chance even with a high ceiling, but his passing trends could be improved a lot. For Wentz, we see that he has better passing trends than Prescott, especially the accuracy and targeting. He's more efficient in the red zone, but has a tougher schedule, too high bust risk despite their floors being the same, and his one-game ceiling just isn't comparable. So my pick after comparing all the factors in this video is Dak Prescott. Dak has slowly but surely risen up the ADP compared to a few weeks ago when they were both in the 8th round. I still believe that Prescott is the better fantasy quarterback, but try to land him in the 7th or 8th if you can, and don't overdraft him. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more weekly fantasy content. Please share this video on social media to help support the channel. Hello fantasy faithful, I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to check out more of them right here and here. In case you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a beat.